am on it today, babe.
Well, it
We're live.
says we are live, but I first want to read this Instagram post.
Oh, are you deciding? It was short and to the point. David is deciding whether he'll accept my collaboration.
It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. I like that.
Short to the point, what it needed to say. The picture says it all, though.
Yeah. All right.
And now I'm for real.
So, let's get one thing straight. This wait, no, what are we doing? This
We're
episode of
still-
LangTime Studio, that was it. We just got back from an extended stay in Europe.
And we're still very lost.
And go break that rock, Meridian. And also, Meridian is playing Pokemon Shining Pearl. But did you see? You opened the passage so you can go break that rock. You went the opposite direction. So I may try to, assist her at times.
What's funny was I asked her not to shout while playing. I guess I didn't tell you to please not shout
I know.
while Meridian is playing.
Yeah.
Meridian's being great. David is distractible.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right, and people are able to see and hear us, so that's always important. Anyway, let's see. And then here, I'm going to try to shorten this up. I wish I could shorten this more so that I could actually, read. But
That would be nice.
yes.
I'm going to try to put my computer closer to yours so that way when I'm looking at my computer, it doesn't look like I'm completely
Yeah.
off to the side.
Yeah. And a big hello to Jake. Today is a special day. If you go over to Let's Have a Booba, there is a new episode, and it's so new, like we just got back. We haven't seen it yet, but very excited to watch it, about Jake's language created for the movie Madam Web. Now, if you saw the movie, you didn't see any conlang work. That's because the language was cut, but that essentially, that's part of the business, unfortunately. And so, Jake, did you and Miles do it, or was it just you? I'm not sure, because of course usually it's Jake and Miles, but I'm not sure if it was just Jake. But anyway, I feature in photo form.
And it's just Jake.
Yes, okay, so it'll be just Jake telling you about the Pankashku language, and of course if you give me the IPA again, I'll try to do my best version of it. I think it was Pankashku, because I think it was an unrounded, wasn't it?
I don't remember, but I do think there was tone.
There might have been. And
I think.
Oh, absolutely! You get paid even if it doesn't get used.
And Jake, as much as I appreciate your comment that David could leave you all in my hands, today I'm not sure you'd want that because my brain is so tired and so not here. The number of typos I made in just trying to type something this morning, it was really not outstanding in a good way. It was astounding, rather, in a way that I'm like, I didn't even know that could be a typo.
Yeah.
And there my fingers were going, using commas instead of like V. Like it wasn't even like the right finger was moving. It was just like absolutely wrong. And then my brain would stare at things like, that doesn't look right. And then I'm like, maybe that word isn't spelled with a comma in the middle.
Yeah. Let me see what it does, Meridian. Hold on a sec. Scroll down.
Oh, Miles features as an interviewer. That's
Don't do
nice.
it. Yep.
And Ragdoll, I feel you. I don't know how you manage to do this every week with the time zone different, Ragdoll. So I appreciate every time you make it.
Yeah, Ragdoll is joining us from Australia. Remind us what time it is there right now.
It's like some ungodly early hour, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Tomorrow morning. It's Friday. It's Friday where Ragdoll is. But
It is Friday, right?
and also where Ragdoll is, not where we are. It's Thursday for us.
So at some point in the Pacific Ocean, you go back 24 hours. Is that right?
Well, ahead because they're ahead of us.
Right, but I mean,
Like
if you're going, I'm sorry, I meant if you're going from Australia to us.
yeah. If you start in Australia and fly to LA, it's like you go back a day
Yeah.
in time.
And also, not immediately, but as a reminder, especially if you're not watching right now because you're expecting us to start in an hour or an hour before, I don't know. The clocks have changed in California. It's 7:37 in Australia right now. That's not terrible, but
I mean, it's still early.
it's still very early. The clocks have moved ahead here in California. They have not in Europe and probably other places. I think that next week it's going to be the same.
Next week is the same. It's the week after
The week after that.
that Europe catches up with
So,
our time change.
Yeah, you're just going to have to pay careful attention. We'll try to remind you. Anyway, so let's go to the poll.
Poll.
Yeah.
Nice, Bubba.
So in this
Oh, you'll
poll,
want to scoot that way over, I think.
oh, of course, right.
My video is not
That's
caught
okay.
up there, but
No, don't worry, I fixed
okay.
it.
Okay.
So in this poll, we were talking about the marking of core arguments, and there was a really great paper, very short paper by Matthew Dreyer that I wanted to link everybody to, and I couldn't find it. I found,
It's just a little fuzzy from the blanket.
maybe I like that fuzzy from your blanket that you made for me.
Go on, Matthew Dreyer, short paper.
And I really wanted to find this because it went over marking strategies for the three primary arguments. The stream is very blurry for me. Well, anybody else let us know, and then it looks fine to Arias. Basically, if it looks fine to Arias, then it's fine for
It's
you.
fine. Yeah.
We call that the Arias test.
Yes.
Kind of a classic LTS test. Anyway, but these the nature of his work for this dealt with the primary marking strategies of the first three arguments. That is the subject, and this is, of course, for transitive, intransitive, and ditransitive verbs. It dealt with the markings for subject, the direct object, and the indirect object, and all the possible ones. So this includes ergative, tripartite, the whole bit. And we knew that we're doing an accusative language for our beavers, but the question is what we were going to do with the marking of objects. And so we gave you 4 possible strategies. And we'll go over them. Some of them were quite simple. One is, the first one was, and I'm already going to tell you, the first one was the least popular. I thought it was kind of cool. The idea is that there was going to be no distinction between subject and direct object, but there would be for the indirect object. And so, like the beaver chews the grass, no marking anywhere. The beaver gives the grass to the frog would get some sort of an indirect object postposition. So that was one option. It got absolutely no votes. This came down to the other 3. So the next...
It was too simple, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, they never go for the simple ones.
Except for sometimes Matthijs.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure Matthijs forgot to vote.
Oh, probably so.
Yeah. Y'all had 2 weeks to vote, by the way. Anyway, but All right, so the next the next option was the double object strategy. So this is actually, it might be a little counterintuitive, but there are a lot of languages that mark this way. So instead of, and I think Hawaiian is one of them, actually. Yeah, Hawaiian is definitely one of them. Instead of there being a strong distinction between accusative and dative, as it were, instead use the object marker twice for ditransitive verbs. So the beaver, choose the grass would be beaver, grass, object marker, choose. And then the beaver gives grass to the frog would be beaver, frog, object marker, grass, object marker, give. When you do this, you have to come up with a strict order for the indirect object and direct object, which presumably we would do, and it looks like I chose indirect object, direct object for that one. All right, so that was another option. Option C was dual object marking, and this was essentially your standard case thing. In other words, direct object is marked one way, indirect object is marked the other way, but they're both marked. So that's how C is different from A. There wasn't the case where the object wasn't marked. So it was just a unique thing for the direct object, unique thing for the indirect object. I will tell you that this one got the second least votes. It got some votes, quite a few actually, but not as much as B and D. This was a poll between B and D. The double object construction, like in Hawaiian, where both indirect object and direct object are marked with the preposition E, or this one, primary object marking.
I know what one based on your intonation. Go on.
This, of course, is the strangest one, but it exists. And so now we're going to have to semantic our way out of this somehow. So
go ahead and scroll so that way people can see what is the winner. The little, there we go. Well, that should be enough.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Sorry, did I give it away?
You totally gave it away.
All right, it was close.
Your intonation, the way you were like, now we have to figure this out. It's obviously D1.
It was close between B and D, but D won by a little bit. Oh my goodness, Meridian got hydro pump. Wait. Okay.
This makes for good live streaming when no one can see what David is commenting on.
All right, everybody.
No one has any idea what game you're even really talking about.
You're being too negative. So I'm going to ask everybody here. Empoleon just got the opportunity to get hydro pump, excuse me. We've already got brine or bubble beam. Should we replace brine or bubble beam with hydro pump? Hydro pump obviously only has 5 uses. Is hydro pump 3 hearts? Go to the yellow one.
Yes, it is.
It is, yeah. What about brine?
Brine is 2.
Okay. Wow, Jake says diamond and pearl were important parts of their childhood. That's frightening, considering that diamond and pearl were ones that came later.
Charlie is suggesting replacing brine.
Yeah, and you know what? That's where I was leaning towards anyway. Bubble beam is nice and effective, and it's got 20.
Jonathan agrees.
Yep. Replace brine. They say replace brine. Well done. Okay, perfect. Now Empoleon's going to be competitive in the competitions too.
Go, Empoleon, go!
Oh, Bubba, it's a video game. A Pokemon video game. Pokemon you might have heard of because it is the most popular franchise in the entire world. It beats out Disney. Did you know that?
I'm actually not surprised, I guess.
I'm kind of surprised. Anyway, so the primary object strategy does this. It says there is an important object, a core object for each verb. And then there's a less important object. Mm-hmm. All right. So for a transitive verb, obviously there's only one object. It's the most important object. And this is called the primary object. But for a ditransitive verb, there are 2. For ditransitive verbs, the recipient is considered the primary object, and the theme is considered the secondary object, the non-important one. Mm-hmm. And so what that means is that this primary object postposition marks the direct object in a transitive phrase and the indirect object in a ditransitive phrase. And there's this special postposition that is only associated with the secondary object that only appears in ditransitive phrases. Now, it doesn't mean that we can't use that postposition for something else. It just means it has to be there for ditransitive phrases, and it's different from transitive ones. Anyway, so yes, and yeah, if you've, you know what, that's what I should have done. I'm going to take a little quick jaunt into the past. We're going to take a look at my old website, this one, because I think I might have actually described this, or even did I link to the paper? Oh my God.
Is this it? Is this the one you were looking for?
This is it. Yep, this is it. Clause types.
Oh, you know what? Interesting. Here, will you stop scrolling a second?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now I'm waiting for this to stop scrolling. Oh, goodness, you scroll so fast. The text is okay. We're blurry on our end too. Like it's slowly getting clearer, but this was very blurry.
Oh, that's always that way because it's small.
Okay.
But oh, this is quite a long paper. I remembered it being short, but I also, this is it.
Is this what you were looking for that whole time?
Yep, this right here.
And by that whole time, like I remember David trying to recreate charts, and he kept saying, "Where is it?" And like he kept showing me charts similar to this, and I was like, "I'm sorry, babe, I don't know what you're looking for." And this was it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is ergative, of course, and this is accusative. These were the charts that I was looking for.
Okay. Oh, now it's nice and clear again. Okay. No, these are not syntax trees. These are just, you read it line by line, where
Yep.
on top there's only one argument.
Intransitive.
So the subject is the one argument of the verb for an intransitive verb. On the second line, you have two arguments for a transitive verb. So you have the agent, which is the subject, and the patient, which for an accusative language would be the object or the accusative form if you have an accusative case in your language. The third line are the ditransitive verbs, and so you've got agent as the subject of the verb, and then you have the direct object, which is the thing that is most affected by the verb. And then you have the indirect object, which is the recipient. So it's the person, or I mean, sometimes just animate being. It's usually an animate being. You can get weird things where it's something inanimate, but it's the recipient of the direct object. And so when you talk about it in terms of like these kind of more more semantic roles, the S is subject, AP means agent, patient, and then ATR means agent, theme, recipient. And
Still not
so
scooted over. Okay.
that's what these are. The circlings of them all, so the circlings that make it look like a word search, indicate that these pattern the same way. So notice on the left, SAA are circled. That means all of them have the same case marking or are treated the same. If there's not case marking, they're treated the same in the grammar. The second column is circled together, so the P and the T, the direct objects across the board, whether it's a transitive or a ditransitive verb, are treated the same. And then the recipient has a different treatment for the ditransitive verb structure.
Yeah.
But now notice then it gets messy in B and C because things are, well, B specifically. C is like all the objects are treated the same.
And in fact,
B is different.
So this is C. It's going to get a little confusing, but in the poll.
In the poll, this was option C.
In the poll, this was option C. This was the option that won, option D, and this was option B. Option A is not listed here because that would be treating agent and patient the same. Yeah. So it'd be kind of like this and then this. And so, yeah, this was what I was looking for. And then it shows you how it works with ergative languages as well. And you can see for 3 of these, there's actually like 3 different markings, but it kind of works differently. Anyway, and then of course there are languages that do all of these. And this longer paper actually shows it to you. Anyway, so if you want to see this paper, you can go to my website and go to my old website and go to the ergativity reference, and it's
You
on
can
the bottom.
also copy right now the link you're on and pop it into chat for
Sure.
people who just want to click on a link.
There you go. Yeah. And that's kind of funny. And the by the way, this thing that describes ergativity is here. That's where I go all in about like every type of theoretical possible ergativity and explain how it works. Anyway, so yeah, it's too bad I didn't think of that earlier, because that would have nicely demonstrated what was going on, but live and learn. And we're going to move that over there. And now we're going to try to make this work. So, primary object and secondary object.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't done any postpositions yet at all.
I was just going to say, we need a few reminders. Both of these will be marked by some sort of postposition. We don't have any postpositions, as David just said, but were these postpositions in your head? Did you think they were coming from verbs? Is that what we should be thinking, or should they?
They can come from verbs, but I think that they can also come from nouns, because we have this whole partitive thing, remember?
Right. And the ordering would be the same if they came from nouns. So because
Yeah.
sometimes what we have to worry about is if we had wanted, for instance, postpositions, the way the modifiers work in the language means you kind of have to have one or the other lexical source for that to work. But
Yeah.
in this one, they could be nouns or...
Yeah, in this case, the only difference is if they came from nouns, they would assign the partitive. If they came from verbs, they wouldn't.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bless you.
I kind of like that then, because then the partitive would be used alongside these postpositions.
Yeah. Let's just make sure that we have the theory of it right. Well, I guess we'll need a specific one. So, and then of course there's the question of how many postpositions we want. Do we want to try to aim for having a lot of basic postpositions, or only like 3 and then build out?
My God, we can have some fun with that, because sometimes it can be, so a lot of times in languages, adpositions assign different cases. And so this is going to be really like, if it comes from a noun, partitive will be used with the object. If it
Yeah.
comes from a verb, it'll just be in regular form. So we can have some fun with that in terms of what comes from what. That's just me still thinking forms. I don't know. I feel like there should be I feel like we can use more than 3 of basic postpositions.
Okay.
You don't need a ton of them, but like really to get through some really basic spatial relationships that can then be metaphorically extended to other relationships.
Where do we want to start typing notes? This is always a question.
That is a question. And and you're welcome, Jesse. I'm glad that it was helpful for you. Okay, so I am gonna go actually grab my notebook,
That's not a bad idea.
because I would like to, I'm getting sort of itchy to start like scratching out a system, but
Yeah.
I have no notebook in which sandwich to do that. Do you want me to grab yours while I'm up and about?
It's got a bird cage on top of it right now.
I feel like I can move the bird cage and get your notebook.
You could, but then something will happen.
Well, it's not copyrighted, is it?
No.
Then we're good.
Ooh, Meridian, you want to come give that to me? No, were you going to come over here? Oh, I meant, actually get off the couch and use your legs.
No.
Do you want to say hi to everybody or no? You don't have to. Okay, so you'll be there. There we go. There's my little muffin. So there's a delay, so you have to wait a second to.
God, it feels like a long delay today. There we go.
There's Meridian. People are saying hello.
Oh, hi, baby.
So yeah, we're just working on our language now, trying to come up with some postpositions. Postpositions are things that stand behind the noun. You know what a noun is, right? That's right. You're a smart little cookie.
All right.
All right, kiddo.
Ooh, and you got more people engaged in chat just by showing your face than we get engaged in chat in quite a bit. Everyone loves seeing you. Okay. We are working on postpositions. There we go.
Let's see.
And
I think we'll start working. I thought we should start working here with nouns since we're going to be talking about noun function.
that feels like a good section to be taking notes in. Thanks, Patrick. We're old news. Meridian is new news.
Let's see.
So
Core marking of nouns in major clauses is governed primarily by a couple of different postpositions. As a nominative, accusative language, wait. The unmarked noun in the sentence will serve as the subject or agent. For direct and indirect objects, though, a couple different strategies. Postpositions are required. Here's a summary below. Here's a summary of how that works. Okay, and then we haven't actually created any verbal morphology at all, right?
I don't think so.
We're gonna have to drop variables in there because we don't know if verbs are going to agree with subjects or anything, or probably shouldn't agree, but
okay. Where did the partitive come from, babe? Can you remind me?
came from the word bite, apparently.
Okay. Bite. Gotcha. Okay.
Have I ever made a polysynthetic pun like, you must be new?
Okay. I have an idea.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ah.
I think
Sum
we
it up,
should
Jackie.
consider.
Sum it up.
I will sum it up. Thank you. I think we should consider the primary object as, well, first of all, I want to use body parts for both of these basic
Oh.
postpositions because it
Wow.
makes sense in my head.
I wouldn't have gone there, so I'm excited for this.
Okay. And so I think the primary objects should be treated as ways that we could effectively say it's at or to. So we're thinking locational because you can, like, the beaver chews the grass, it's at the beaver's nose, eye, face, mouth, side, something that would be kind of locational, like it's there, so they're able to chew it. And if you give the dog grass, then the dog now is like close by, because you have to be close by to hand them something. And so it's that sort of closeness in, like, I kind of like nose. It's at the nose of the beaver. And so the primary object, one of those kinds of nouns, and then in the ditransitive construction, then, like, the beaver gives the dog grass, that postposition could be paw, because effectively a lot of ditransitive verbs you're handing or giving somebody something, and what is being given is in your hand until they take it.
Okay, but let's make sure the logic of this works, because it wouldn't be at the beaver's nose, it would be the nose of the object, right?
You're right.
I like the idea, though. That makes a lot of sense.
So
Something.
it makes sense for the animate recipient because it could be at the nose of the dog that you're handing grass.
Yes. However, I like the idea of the nose being close to it. And one way that a nose is close to it, but it focuses on the agent, is sniff.
So go to a verb then.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we could see if we could make it like a noun one for the indirect object, and then there would be the difference between
The partitive.
the
and
partitive and the non-partitive.
Snufkin and sniff.
Not like Snufkin and Sniff. Though I think Sniff was named after sniffing. I don't know about Snufkin.
We could steal a little bit from our Ingala, and mouth was also used to mean mouthful, and so paw could also mean pawful for the direct object of the ditransitive construction. So a pawful of grass. Like a paw of grass.
I like this idea.
Okay.
All right, let's play with that. I'm gonna need to do some tippity typing, kiddo. So,
Whoa, Arias. And just now we got a new person on the Discord. Wow. We've been getting all sorts of new people. All right, if you want to stay over here, get on my lap, so that way your daddy can type.
all right, and let's move this. Okay, so let's come up where these aren't going to have forms yet, and even if they had forms for their roots, they wouldn't work as verbs because we don't have any verbal morphology yet. But we're going to have sleep, and then what? Chew. That's what we were using, and give. Of course, those are going to be our three verbs.
For a minute, I thought you were brainstorming for postpositions, and I was like, why would sleep be used? Anyway, my brain seriously just took a hot minute to fully digest all the words that you were clearly saying out loud. Now I'm on board. Yes, those are three excellent verbs to use to show intransitive, transitive, and ditransitive constructions. Thank you, David.
Okay, so let's take this.
Ooh, and also, Bubba, stay grammar and enjoy dinner.
Yes.
And, oh, cool. Aria says, like, in the last 2 minutes, we got someone new.
Okay, so the sleep beaver is sleeping. Okay, and then thus, and this is going to be, because it's postposition is from a verb, and so it's just gonna
Be audace.
yeah. And so we're gonna say okay. Neighbor is chewing the grass. Sale, okay, and then
Do we have frog?
yeah, and I don't know if we
Trying to remember where we put these beginning words that we had. Yes, we do have bungo,
yeah,
bungo,
good old frong.
indeed.
But we have a question of ordering, and they're both going to be marked, but we could decide that there's going to be some particular order for these. And I think that because it's a verb, it should push it towards the verb. So it's going to be bungo, which is going to be partitive, and then and then olas sniff.
Oh, that is true, George. That would be a cool thing. And yeah, Arias, I think what that means is notice Crique is in Europe, and there has not been the time change yet, and so yeah.
It also means that they don't stay up late like we usually do, but probably not for a little bit. We stayed on an early schedule like all of Europe, and then we went to sleep pretty early last night. So
Well, that's no surprise though, because we didn't actually sleep on the flight home.
yeah, I do that. I always do that on purpose so that I
I
can.
did it accidentally because I was actually trying to sleep and it didn't work. And so we experienced 32 hours in a day before we actually went to sleep last night. So it is no surprise that we went to sleep.
Good God. Miles, I'm so sorry. Please pass along my condolences to Remy. Jeez.
Yeah, best of luck on that recovery, but hello right back. I was gonna say that can usually alleviate a lot of symptoms when people do get that surgery. So I bet Rumi's gonna be, once recovery is over, is gonna be very much happy with that.
Okay, so first, I think that how sniff is going to work is going to be very straightforward, and so that's easy, and it's not going to cause any change. So that's simple enough. We just need to create a form for it, and it fits with your idea, which I really like, that it's something that's close to the agent's nose. Now, actually, just you should go check out our recent Instagram post. It was funny. There was there's this Seinfeld episode about that features the close talker, and it's this guy who kind of violates the unwritten rules, at least in the United States, about how close you're supposed to be to somebody when you talk to them. This is one of those things that we all recognize and that is actually culturally dependent, but we don't actively think about. That is like how close you should be to somebody when you're talking with them. I always, when we were our recent trip, I felt like some of these sliding glass doors required a lot more closer personal space before they engaged than they do in the United States.
She like almost walked into him. Oh man. Yeah, Oh, thank you. I would love to someday actually get there on my pronunciation. But yeah, it's whenever I am in a conversation with someone who's a close talker, like it gives me panic attacks. Like I have to move back. I can't stay in that situation. And so like I just keep backing up, and if they follow me, eventually I just have to end the conversation. I can't do it. It's too much.
Like a British person talking to anybody outside of Britain.
Like listen, like it's even whenever I see on TV shows that they're standing close together just to talk, I'm like, why are you standing that close?
Oh, is that how you say blue jay in Norwegian? Nudesklykke? And what's the etymology? How interesting.
No.
No.
Or at least is okay.
So Miles says it's.
Oh, it's a Eurasian jade, so
Oh.
it is. It is. It's just you can't look up blue jay on the thing. Nut screamer. Oh, that's brilliant. Oh,
Yeah.
ragdoll. It's too much.
I actually have no idea how Norwegian is pronounced, but I saw the O with a line, and that's an Ö, so that's nice. And then the N is N. After that, it's like, who knows? Let's look it up on Wiktionary, or even right there. Maybe that'll.
And then if not, I will do the.
Oh, go to alternative form.
It is not.
So-
Oh no, this is Wiktionary. Okay. It's not giving
Definitely.
singular. Yeah, it's not giving any pronunciation.
It says it's the alternative form of this. Are you writing the alternative form of it? Should it actually have a J
here's-
in it? Why is there
No IPA still,
why is there
though.
no IPA?
Ugh, what even is the use of looking things up if there's no goodness? Oh my god, dialectally it can also be used to refer to a squirrel.
Nice one, Patrick.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. All right. Oh, then Charlie, you must love our stream if you like tangents, because have we got a tangent for you? That should be the name of our next stream. When we start a new venture, it's going to be have we got a tangent for you?
That's right. We'll stop in the middle of an episode and create an entirely new YouTube series called Let's Have a Tangent.
Or just tangentially. Ooh, that's a fun word.
Tangentially speaking.
Tangentially. Nice.
That's right. Finally. Let's have a tangent all about Trigedasign. Maybe one day Jesse will pronounce Trigedasign the correct way.
Anyway, and you wonder why I don't want to do recordings with you. All right. So
Okay.
let's get back to this before you get yourself into more trouble.
Okay. All right. So I just want to make sure that we have the logic of this correct. Oh, hang on. Meridian has something. Oh my gosh, is this a little beaver sleeping in bed? Everybody look at this.
I think it was inspired by
Meridian just drew this.
our
Wow.
intransitive verb choice here.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. That is just adorable.
There we have it. Oh, look at that. Little Z's and everything.
That is so cute. That is so cute. Well done, baby. Mwah. Oh, everybody loved it. Everybody loved it, Meridian.
Now we got to figure out verb morphology so we can
Yeah.
put a caption on it.
Okay, so let's see. You're right. You're right. Oh my gosh, that has to be where we go next so that we can We can. All right.
Nice RES. Oh man. Hey, Jake. Woo!
That US dollar will buy you a lot more in Britain thanks to Brexit.
Oh, ouch. Goodness, David. All right, let's get back to some sniffing and pawing.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that the paw works.
We're going to take a moment. Everyone meditate.
Paw of... Oh, this is wrong.
There is some places still
Wait.
have a dollar menu. Not very many, but some do.
I'm sorry, this is wrong. Because sniffing is the primary object.
Yes.
So yeah,
You are absolutely right.
sorry, because I was just looking at that and I was like, no,
But
something's
that
not
means
right.
bunga is the correct form
That's right.
because you had it in the
That's
partitive.
right. And
And
odasu.
odas would be odasu.
Wait, is it odasu or odasu?
I think it's odasu. I repeated what you said, and I think you were wrong.
Yeah. Very sorry.
Did you hear that? David was wrong in pronunciation.
I made the pronunciation too complicated.
Yes, yes. Okay. Oh, well, thank you, Aquamelon. Wow. Oh, and Arias. Complicated. Yes. Okay, I'm thinking with all this just kindness, it's time to celebrate. We've done nothing except decide on some constructions. Let's go ahead and celebrate, David, for all the compliments that people are giving us.
Oh, and then Arias just came up with a much better one, complicated.
Did you not just hear me say that?
No, I didn't.
That was part of the second half of the celebration was Aquamelon being just so delightfully nice, and then Arias coming up with an excellent pun. And then we celebrate.
Cheers. I did take a long plane ride. That's my excuse.
That is your only excuse.
Kopiko. Sniff it, then put it in your little paw.
To give it to your mouth. Okay.
Oh. Meridian honey. I had a question. So we've got about another hour and 10 minutes. Did you want to stay here and then you and me will play afterwards? Or did you want to go with mommy to help her make dinner? Okay. All right.
I'm a little concerned that Duolingo thinks it's still a different time zone. They're giving me a last reminder at 2:50 in the afternoon.
Why don't you go open it? Because I think you have to open it once and then it resets.
I've opened it 3 times because I wanted to make sure I still had my streak. Oh, and hi, Eric. And also, yeah, oh my gosh, I always have to stop and look at your username. Languagist. Time zones are different for a couple weeks for our European watchers.
We should be fine.
Swear to God, if I...
Well, Mr. Luridian, let's be quite clear. None of us have ever finished a conlang because a conlang can't be finished. It defies the very nature of language to be finished. The thing just always keeps growing and growing and growing, and that's it. Languages aren't finished or unfinished. They're either living or dead. That's it. Isn't that nice, though?
And Miles, did you see Miles's comment? Remy and Miles say no. My sentence.
That rings a bell. What is that song? Tell it to my heart.
I can't just.
But you know it, right? That's like a you song, not a me song, right? Oh, tell it to my heart.
There we go.
That's
Thank you.
it.
I was
That's
like-
it. That's it. That's it. That's it.
I couldn't get the rhythm just right in my head to be able to sing it.
Sorry, I totally. That's a great song. That should be on Meridian's playlist. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! I'm so excited. You'll love this song, Meridian. It's an older song, but you will love it. You might even know it
Ooh.
already.
Jake doing some cooking. Apparently with some cookies that sometimes turn out better than other times.
Meridian has a playlist that I helped to curate called Meridian Dance Party. Okay.
I wonder though if Duolingo doesn't recognize the time change until you actually do a lesson. Anyway, it's okay. I'm on a streak. If I don't mess this up, by next week I will have my 500 days. But if I have to use a freeze because of the time zone change, it's going to be very sad. Anyway,
Yeah.
back to what we're doing here. And hello, Karis.
So, one of the things that's given me pause was I was trying to think if this postposition, the pa postposition, could have any other function.
Like any other function in terms of...
Aside from marking the direct object of a ditransitive. And so, because like the idea of it, it's like, the idea is like you are taking something, you're having control over it, and you're assisting in its movement from one place to another.
Yes.
Let me think.
I'm going to need to let my brain stew on that before I can come up with any other ideas. I could think of some quirky verbs then that the direct object would end up needing this marking instead of the direct object marking,
Yeah, I
like
know.
carry, transport.
That's what I was thinking too. All right, Meridian has another thing to show us. Is this a little puppy with something on his head? What is it?
Oh no, I erased that.
Oh, you erased that. It's just a little puppy in the grass.
I thought the puppy was saying something. I thought it was a speech bubble.
It's kind, it's one of those halos around the puppy's head just to show that he is so nice. But this is a little puppy in the grass. Hold on a sec. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, there's that little puppy in the grass. Excellent job. Gosh, that's a really cute little puppy. I saw the cutest little dog on the way over to get Meridian. I was so sad that neither you nor Meridian could see it.
Aw.
It was tiny and so cute. Oh,
What Would it make sense if we did think some sort of like translative relationship, translative? I don't know how to say that. Would it make sense to then metaphorically extend it to like things like I took the road, like I went via this thing? Through metaphorical extension, not through like its basic meaning,
No, I
but
understand.
just
I mean, and I thought of that too, like extending it to instrumental. But now I hate to say it, I know that we've come up with this system, right? And it was supposed to be a hard and fast system where it's like direct object gets, primary object gets this, secondary object gets this. But like, I really like, because you know what, I think we, both of us independently came up with the same idea that instead of quirky subjects, sometimes you get that in languages, like we have quirky objects, and that so sometimes objects are going to take this paw one. And I've basically had the exact same thought as you, like these verbs of like moving something or like or something like that. I think that's what we need to do.
which makes a lot of sense because when you think semantically about those verbs anyway, you're affecting the location of something, but you're not affecting its state. And like
Yeah.
quite often with a direct object marking, you're affecting it more
Yeah.
in some ways. And so anyway, it just kind of makes sense that they would be different.
Yeah, like affecting its state instead of affecting its place.
Yeah. I like that.
I do too. I think we got to do that. Done. Okay. I'm just gonna write this down with my invisible pen. I don't know what I'm doing here.
I'll be right. Because I know better than to demand you to turn the wrapper out for myself, because I know that you'll be like, oh, what kind of pen is this?
It's all right. It's evidently like on the other page. What did I do? Write with lipstick or something? Look at this.
You remember that, right? That
God.
giant marker in that room when we were talking to Matthijs?
That's right, Matthijs. Yeah, if you didn't catch last week's episode, special episode with Matthijs, you missed out. That was a good
I'm
one.
really dedicated to getting that diphthong more correctly pronounced every time I say his name.
Yeah.
Because I did for 4 years just call him Matthijs. Now I want to get it right, and
Matthijs.
I want to Matthijs.
Matthijs. Taste. It's
I
like
think it's more days, I
it's
think.
it's this Matthijs.
I thought it had a bit more of an.
It probably does.
Okay, well I'll
But
have to
also-
wait until the expert on this is watching and can tell me how close I'm getting.
But it's so funny. So Matthijs is actually from Utrecht, right? And if you go to the Wikipedia page on Dutch phonology, they're saying that younger people in Utrecht have been pronouncing this diphthong, the IJ diphthong, more as I.
Like
Yeah.
Matthijs.
Right. And so, we asked him about that, and he's like, what? He was like, first of all, I mean, he knows how to pronounce his own name. He certainly doesn't say it. And so it's like, gosh, you always wonder about those things because... And it's whether you read it on Wikipedia or in a linguistics paper, it's likely true for something, but then it's like you find like, here's this one person that should be doing this, and they are not.
Yeah. And yes, he does, and he's
That's
convinced
that's
that
because
no
I'm
one else
American. It's because I'm American that I don't pronounce the G in younger.
does. And yes, the rest of us do. Anyway,
I mean, who am I? George Harrison? It's a reference to Old Brown Shoe. Anyway, all right. So we got sniff, paw, and then affects state, affects place. We're going to write that down. I just wanted to write it down somewhere. I wanted to have the feeling of having written it down. We might, might work that way, but it might not. All right.
exactly, George. And it's really sad how strongly these claims will be made. And it's like, then you find out that their population size was very, very small, very, very limited. But like, they're so ready to say, but this is how everyone does it based on this. And it's
Yeah, I was
kind
actually
of insane.
talking to Jesse about this because there was a linguist who was part of one of the presentations that we saw in the Netherlands. And it's basically like in these presentations, there are really two types of linguists. One, it's like, well, I'm not really an expert on this, but we might be able to say with like 0.5% of some kind of confidence that maybe sometimes certain people will sometimes possibly do this, maybe. There's that type. And then there is like, no, that phenomenon doesn't exist. What's your source on that? It just doesn't exist. We all know this. It's like, this person is doing it right now. They don't exist. It's like, those are the two types of linguists.
And I feel like you're in the latter type for a lot of things.
Oh, yeah.
Where you're like,
Terrible.
You're like, no one says G there. And then all of us are like younger and you're like, you're just saying it that way. And it's like, no, that's literally, anyway.
Yeah.
We've had arguments based on, because David's just like, no, I did my master's paper this one time on a small set of people who lived in California. Therefore, no Americans say this vowel this way.
Southern California.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Like,
Yeah, you're all just going to start saying G now just because of it, whether you did before or not.
anyway.
So let's start coming up with some forms. Let's start with sniff because we don't have to worry about the form of the noun that comes before it.
Mm-hmm.
With pa, we're going to know it's always a vowel that comes before it.
And so a consonant would be a great thing for that.
Yeah, for sniff, it's going to be either. So we shouldn't worry about it as much.
Okay. And our only forms so far, do we really only have these three? Sale, odas, and bunga?
Yeah, but I'm sorry. There is something that we want to.
Oh, we do have gabu leaf.
There is something we want to look at.
Yeah.
The articles, because remember we wanted to do those portmanteau. So we should be. These postpositions are going to be used more than any other postpositions. So we should make it so that they form portmanteau with the articles.
With ki and fa.
Ki and fa. Yeah, and we should have their protoforms too, so we know.
Ki, fa.
Okay. All right. And then we have some. Are these potential?
I don't know what those are, David.
Okay. Hold on a sec. We've got one more. Wait. What is it?
I'm by Aquamelon. I'm totally the former
Turtles.
type. I hedge everything.
Yeah.
Gosh. The turtle is drinking out of a coffee cup. So the head is down and this it's really, really cute. Look at that.
Aw, just sticking head right in there. That's how I drink my coffee too. Like just all the way in.
Yeah.
Here, what page is that? 8. Oh, wait, I can do this.
Just, yeah. Don't.
Whatever.
Say whatever you do, don't click on info because that will.
Well, that's right. Okay, does anybody remember what this is?
That must mean un plus can. But where would we get that from? Oh, David.
No, this was part of a poll. Like, I think we came up with the forms of.
Oh, wait. This had something to do with how we actually got our forms. Yeah. Yes. The youngest in the chat is the first to make a comment. Oh, man. um,
Don't worry, nobody understands the partitive, not even those who have the partitive in their language.
Ki u. Okay. So it's the key plus whatever that would be. It's kind of like,
This is how we were coming up with the.
what was our last like 3 votes? I'm gonna look them up.
Yeah, I'm gonna go look them up too. I was
Struggling
hoping.
so hard right now.
I was hoping that somebody in the stream would remember. What?
Whoops, I meant to do poll. Here we go.
So it wasn't liaison.
Like, I swear we even.
And this is the part of. Here's the portmanteau. No, so it wasn't poll options because, like, I'm not seeing them here. Saying poll 7.
This top line is, I don't know what key.
But this is about.
There's no, okay. Is it saying though something about?
It's partitive with the.
Because it would either come out as an H.
No. We already decided on this, but this was about the partitive coming before words that begin with vowels. That's not relevant here. This was examples of portmanteau. Wait, that poll confirms ul is the partitive suffix. Those options from the doc were potential forms that would portmanteau onto the singulative and paucal number marking. That's what I thought. Okay.
Ooh, bye, George. Does that mean we can delete it? Or does that mean we...
Let's hang on to it for right now because we actually want this. So it can't be this because that's the partitive. Oh wait, no, these are the partitive.
The partitive is the ul.
Yeah, because do articles take the partitive?
Look at that move. Whoosh. Right to the like stem of the glass to the mouth, like, and then you were about ready to put them back on.
I was. Oh, okay. So you like that, but of course you wouldn't take your glasses off that way, correct?
Oh, God, no. You just look so cute when you did it.
Jessie is very delicate with her glasses.
You gotta remove it by both stems and put it back on by both stems so as not to hurt them or to pull. You've got to take care of your glasses, David.
Well done, Patrick. So, no, seriously, we need somebody, like, the articles don't take the partitive, right? Because right?
I don't remember. And we didn't put any examples? That would have been in the liaison, right? Because this was...
It's a scientific fact, by the way, that the prototypical man wearing glasses, the pinnacle of men wearing glasses, was Cillian Murphy in the Batman movies as the Scarecrow. That was like, oh my goodness, that's what we're supposed to look like.
Okay, wait. In the portmanteau one. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so right now the thing that I'm getting confused about is the article is going to sandwich with the noun, but like, for example, with the not with sniff, with paw. Paw is going to ensure that whatever it that its noun complement is going to be in the partitive. Does that mean that the article is going to be in the partitive too, or just the noun? Because our articles do come from nouns. Does that mean they can also be in the partitive? Because if so, then they come out as ki and ho, which is pretty cool. And I feel like that was why we were doing this. We were testing it out. I don't know what these are for. Because we didn't have a poll on what the form of the partitive was going to be. We decided that we were going to have it, and then we did its form here. Then we moved to the liaison poll. And so I think you're right. I think we do need to delete these so that they're no longer confusing us. Those and these.
Okay, and so now the articles are going to be Q or ho.
If they're in the partitive, yeah. Except,
Yeah, like with the partitive though.
yeah,
It's like they came together, so it's like,
except I thought the whole point of the portmanteau poll was that the articles were going to portmanteau with the postpositions. That was the whole point. But maybe they portmanteau when they're in the regular, but otherwise, if they're in the partitive, then they don't. Is this right? Does that violate the spirit of the poll?
oh, yeah.
Here, sorry, let me get this out of here.
We have done this again, David.
I know. So okay, so here we go.
Oh.
This week's poll is a simple binary decision, but a potentially far-reaching one. We're going to have a couple of singulative articles, but we've got a couple ways we can do it. We'll have it be a little short. Have it be a little
Okay,
short.
so
this
Miles
article,
has
so
found the episode 608. The notes come from around the last 5 minutes of the stream. And if you happen to watch that, Miles, can you tell us what we intended
yeah.
with those notes, and if we need to be thinking about what we have?
Oh my goodness.
Is that a graduation kitty?
What's it say on there? Teacher.
Mr.
Oh my.
Mr.
It is the teacher, Mr. Purr, and it is one of the most adorable kitties you have ever seen. Oh my goodness. Let me make sure Mr. Purr is on there. Yes. Oh my goodness. This is incredible. Well done. He does indeed have a mortar board.
We had just used the words as test forms, but they were forms that would portmanteau oftenly and commonly.
Yeah. If we do this, we have solid articles that don't change form, but they may merge with a following postposition.
Okay, so it would be like,
We'll be sure to come up with forms that are quite mergy.
like bunga ki, but if it's going to be bunga ki sniff, then the ki could with.
Yeah. I hate to say this. I think this means that we never once considered the possibility of articles taking the partitive.
No.
And it was just a wild coincidence that we used this form as an example, which is the exact form of the partitive.
Or we turn it into not a wild thing and say that when a partitive, and so we've got, what was the partitive? Bunga?
Yeah.
It'd be like bunga ki instead of bungo ki.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
And we can just say it wasn't an accident. Look at us go.
but since I think one way of looking at that kind of violates what we decided on with the poll, I think that we at very least have to ask.
Oh, because it's.
Yeah, but we need to write this up.
But that couldn't then portmanteau with a postposition?
Oh, the Q and
Yeah.
I don't think so. It would be
Okay.
it'd be too big.
Something's going on right there.
Where's our
Well, then in that case, I say we don't.
here? So what we're looking at is like, hold on, right? And then so we have key, fa, key, hole. Hold on. I don't remember what it says singulative is
Yeah.
key.
So like
So
a grass.
sorry. A blade of grass. That's what that is. And now less fa,
Is like a few blades of
some
grass.
grass. And then here, let's get rid of that. Oh, what am I doing? I'm sorry. This no, you can't do this. Because the articles always govern the partitive.
So you would always have odasuki.
Yes. That's the and odasufa would be some grass.
And so just grass is odas.
Yes.
And so now we don't need to worry as much.
Right, but now here's let's say, what is this? Huh?
That actually makes some degree of sense. To say that this postposition requires the partitive, and therefore when it takes one of these articles, the article itself is used in the partitive.
Yeah. Shoot, but we can't properly display this because this this would actually be like this.
Oh,
Weird.
where did that come from?
I don't know. Both of these would be they'd be portmanteau.
Okay. Okay, and I do want to say though that it's because we had not envisioned that every single postposition would be portmanteau with the article
Yeah.
or partitive or whatever,
Yeah.
however it worked. postpositions coming from verbs could be.
Yes.
Postpositions coming from nouns are less likely to be.
Yeah.
And that to me is fine because we can actually lean into some that are more verby, including our direct object and recipient, which will be used quite often. And so, like, to me, like, that's not violating any sense of anything.
Do you want to just say we're going to do that, or do you want to like actually make this the poll and kind of like lay out our cases and say, do you want to do what Jessie thinks is a good idea, or do you want to make her sad?
Is that our patron poll or our
Yeah.
poll right here?
No, patron poll.
Okay. We can do that because then we have a poll in pocket.
Yeah, but like, do you want to do that, or like, do you just want to roll with this option and be like, I want to do this with our language?
Patrons know that they need to vote for option 2. And would it make you sad, David? And you can't.
No. Because I think, as you point out, we're going to have a very clear divide in our postpositions. They're either going to come from verbs or they're going to come from nouns. And via option 2, the ones that come from nouns would give us these partitive articles, and the ones that come from verbs would result in the portmanteau. I think it's great.
I think it's a really good split, and I think it also, I think the ones coming from nouns requiring the special partitive form of the article is in and of itself complicated enough. We don't need to portmanteau the forms to make it even more complicated. Whereas the other ones don't have the marking, and therefore, like, I think they could take some more complexity with the portmanteau.
Just want to have this reminder here.
Oh, Miles is saying, but to be honest, the form for Paul will have a dramatic effect.
Okay.
Which means we don't give it a form until after the poll. My evil way of making my form. Oh my goodness. Hey, Narmo.
All right. Well, we know. Oh wait, that's cute. I want to keep it. We know that sniff is going to portmanteau no matter what. So let's come up with that at least.
To make the portmanteau. Oh, and hey, anime fan. Can you just remind me what our vision for these portmanteaus is? Like, it's only going to portmanteau when there's an article, right? Like, otherwise it's just going to be a regular postposition.
Yes.
To make it work best, should sniff have a certain phonological form?
Probably.
Or shape?
Holy smoke, this is really good.
Oh, that one is my favorite of all so far.
This is a darling little fox by a fire with some flowers in it that, by the way, look a lot like the flowers that are on Cottony right now. Yeah. There we go. My goodness, kiddo.
I'm waiting to see if it's actually in frame. Goodness, this takes a while. Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. A little bit that way to get the fire.
Did I move the right way?
Goodness. Come on, YouTube.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
There we go. All right. Well done, kiddo. Okay.
And so what phonological shape should we be aiming for here?
Something that isn't going to give us Q or ho, definitely. But maybe VC.
And like a strong C that wouldn't disappear? Like the voiceless L, which is why we have ki and ho with no.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Wait, which one is this for? Sniff?
Yeah.
This one's going to be the one that shows up the most.
Because I'm just saying, like, if it doesn't disappear, then you're going to go from a, like, ki to, like, I don't know,
Cod.
kiv.
Yeah.
Or something where it's like you can change the vowel inside, but then you can also have, like a consonant at the end to kind of reify it. Whereas this is going to have a postposition after it to really, like,
Yeah.
the key versus the key.
Well, first thing, let us not make it a nasalized vowel, so it's not nasalized vowels every single sentence. Here, wait, if you could go back.
And anime fan, yes. Bib has been here.
Maybe. So, what are some good coda consonants to leave in there? I say S.
S, Z, T, D, those coronal right here in this range are, I think, pretty good in terms of ones that would, stick around, especially the fricatives. Those are good.
Voice nasals don't disappear.
And they also don't nasalize the vowel like they do in the voiceless nasals.
Right.
And so N, angma, M. I also always love a good V. And so those.
Yeah, angma is pretty good. Here, and then we'll play with.
Well, we've only got 3 vowels, so how about ong?
Well, I was gonna just put up the consonants.
Gotcha.
What consonant tickles your fancy? Let's see. S, angma. You want me to put V on there? What's your fourth choice?
Just a second. Guess we have 2 fricatives and we've got 1 nasal. Should we put a stop there or should we stick with another nasal?
N is good. It's nice and.
Okay.
And then here we'll put together some vowels so you can see what the vowel result will be.
And mind you, this whatever consonant you vote for is going to be the final consonant for the form that will be for sniff. That will give us the portmanteau forms with the articles whenever we use this postposition.
Okay, Kia is K. Ki is Ki. Q.
And I think you're right. The angma would be kind of cool with such forms. Okay.
Right, we only have 3 vowels. And then
Well, Q isn't an option because it's not in the language.
right.
All right. We are.
While we wait for the final votes from Bibleridian. Well, who is this little monster?
I think it's Cowsy. I think she
Is
drew
it Cowsy?
Cowsy.
Oh my goodness, she drew Cowsy. The beloved Highland cow that Jesse made for me. My goodness. Make sure Cowsy is in there. Yeah. Raise it up a little bit.
And so, yeah, David named the cow that I crocheted for him for Christmas Cowsy. And so that's where that name comes from.
All right.
So, all right.
I think we're gonna end this poll.
So I think we should get the vowel set first, and then we should look at what sounds better, V or Ingma, with, the...
Yeah, I just want to make sure that this is correct.
David is great at naming animals. We've got BV the second, and BV the third. We've got Cowsy.
Yeah, this is...
I can't think of the other ones, but I know there's more.
Yeah, that's A. That's A. And that's... Okay. All right, so I have got it right, because what happens is here that gets chopped off. And you can't... Because if it ends in a consonant, you can't have those complex vowels before a consonant, right? Do we ever have that?
Oh. Did we write down? Did we ever write down whether we do allow codas to follow consonant or vowel sequences?
We never did. Yeah, we never allowed it. At least in the proto.
Not in the proto, but we obviously, when we did these, we're allowing vowel consonant. Like we reduced them, but this was a medial stage. And so...
So are we going to say that the only place we allow these is with these portmanteaux?
Sorry, can you just take a step out for a second and tell me... God, I tried to move my cursor over to your computer to point to what I was asking you to explain. So what you're asking is here with the Q form?
Yeah.
If we add a consonant afterwards, what you're saying is it may not resolve correctly because, well, one, we don't want that because we already have Q. And we don't want that to be like the one we have below.
Well, these are all as they would be without a consonant on the end. And then, because we were just doing that to see what the vowels would be. But then I realized, oh, wait, they could never have a consonant on the end because you can never have a consonant on the end of these. Any vowel sequence. We never allowed that. But essentially, the whole point of the portmanteau is that now we're allowing it. The only way...
Well, the vowels in the partitive, don't they at some point had to have both? Because it's oof.
I mean,
So like at some point, and then it got narrowed down. So I guess the question is, it's not just fa, it's fa, and then, av or ang.
Yeah.
Fa-ang. And so what happens if you have, which, I mean, could totally be two syllables, could be fa-ang coming together, like in a compound or something, what do we do in that situation?
Yeah. While we think, I think that there might be one more drawing that's coming to us.
I mean, I think we have to at some level allow these, otherwise we need to have a CV structure
Yeah.
and have the second vowel drop out or something. Or a VCV where the consonant would be an onset of a new syllable.
Oh gosh, this is darling.
That is very cute.
Absolutely just lovely. This
Ooh.
is a butterfly that Meridian has done.
And I like that Danielle had Mousy and Miles, and their sister had Spider and Fly for their mouses.
Well done, kiddo. That's a really, really good one. Okay. I think that what we're moving towards is we have narrowly avoided it every single time that it has potentially come up. But I think what we're hurtling towards is a language that allows for just CVC structure, and we're going to have a distinction essentially between older forms that never allow these VV sequences with a consonant following them and newer forms that do.
Oh, thank you, Jesse.
Oh, thanks. Glad you liked it. And I remember that one of the reasons that we settled on this was we just didn't like these long vowels, because now there's a further question, which is with these portmanteaux, do we want to allow long vowels with a consonant following them, or just the unique vowels, the opposite rounding vowels, the mid vowels that we didn't have beforehand? This is, I think, the reason that we went with ki and ho, is because there were no long vowels to resolve. Yep.
Well, also in the partitive, though, we specifically say VV simplifies to V. Like, that's one of our sound changes for the partitive.
Yeah, you're right.
Because we didn't like it. But I think also sometimes with portmanteau forms, couldn't you just also say, like with ki, the vowel pretty much drops out, and whenever there's a vowel consonant form, like if we have ung is the form of pa, and it would just be kung.
Yeah.
Instead of kyung.
And this is sniff, by the way.
I mean sniff. Sorry. Sorry.
So, by the way, what seems like sniffing to you more, ing or ong?
Well, I'm also thinking, well, gosh, that means we're either getting king and potentially fing.
King and feng.
Feng, okay.
Or kang and fong. Could also do king and hong.
Ding.
They're all saying ing.
Ing, okay. Okay.
All right. We made a decision.
Sing.
God, do I like that? Oh, that's sing. That's
Bungaing.
okay.
All right. And now this is going to look like. So then let's go here. So we have Odasu, king, Odasu, thing.
Okay. It just looks so weird to have the ing written out as a word. All right. So now let's not just write that, babe. Let's like really write it. Like let's say this is what's happening. Ing is the
primary
king and
object.
the thing.
Ing is primary object. Okay.
Like let's remember why we have those little notes.
The unmarked noun, the sentence will serve as subjuration for directing or rejection of local different postpositions are required. Let me get my little hands over there. Okay, there. Now you can come back. The primary object, that is the direct object of a transitive, of a clause with a monotransitive verb, that is a term.
It is, yes.
Or the indirect object of a clause with a ditransitive verb.
I actually prefer in general to call them monotransitive whenever I'm talking about that particular construction, just because then you can talk about transitive verbs in a more global sense, whether they're ditransitive, monotransitive, or like transitive complex or whatever.
Co-occurs with the post
You're like sitting on my ankle.
position.
There you go.
Which does not all right, and this postposition co-occurs with a noun in the nominative. Now, this part's going to be written later.
Yes, but just we can like make a little note with what's already there to say like these are the portmanteau forms.
Oh wait, this is. I know where that's going to occur. It's with not with noun number. Okay, we can start writing this. Nouns themselves have feature no number marking whatsoever. A given noun can be interpreted as singular or plural or any number on its own. And in either case. However, nouns may co-occur with one of two particles. No, articles, which will specify its number. These articles are key.
Singulative.
Which is a singulative article, and which is a helpful article. These articles co-occur with a noun in the partitive case, shown below.
And then which is misspelled.
Which one? Sorry. Better?
Yes, much better.
All right. This is simulative. Actually, let's do this all up. Regular or plain. Oh, that's grass, grasses, some grass. Singulative is toda suki, a blade of grass. And then how cool. Some grass. Okay, now we go on to explain the rest of it.
The notes were done. Like you passed them already. Just like,
Oh, yeah, no, I was going to see if I could copy a paragraph that was already
oh,
formatted.
got you. I see what you're doing. Sorry, babe. I think they're
I don't think we have
more
one.
likely to be down below, aren't they? Like I thought you had some just kind of.
Here's one. Oh, that's not right. Oh, that's double not right. Wait a minute.
Why don't you just change the text indent over here?
Oh, that's super not right. Okay. Does that work? Even if you do this? Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. When these articles co-occur with certain postpositions,
We're actually writing things down,
they will
Patrick. That's
change
what you missed.
their forms,
Woo!
creating special portmanteau.
Now we can just add this little example and I will feel better.
Well, I think we should put all of them here. The all such portmanteau are listed below. And then they don't need those necessarily, but well, maybe. No, we'll just do it like this. Key plus ing. I think this is just going to be the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we'll just keep going.
Okay.
Fantastic. And then we'll also have to add a section to this when we decide on the poll.
Oh, wonderful.
All right.
Oh, so now we know why those notes. So we can actually delete that, yeah, because we've
Yes.
I'm gonna delete it.
Mm-hmm.
Because then we won't come back to why do we have this here. Not that we've ever done that before.
Mm-hmm.
Yay. Oh, yay. Oh, goodness. I'm so very happy that we have made such a decision.
Yeah, that's good. I'd love to just make the form for paw now, but I did want to say this, and I just think it's something that we should consider as we move forward. I don't think that we should have strong head marking because we're already doing all of this stuff to mark primary and secondary objects.
Okay.
And so I don't think that there should be like heavy head marking on the verb, as in X does this to this, and where it's like it's got little affixes for the subject, direct object, and indirect object. So I think the verbs.
So no indexing is what you're saying.
Thank you. That's the term.
I think, or at least no verb indexing.
Yeah, I think it should be. I think the verb should be lighter weight than that.
I'm happy with that.
Okay. I don't know what we're going to do in terms of the actual, subject and object. No, like the verb tense or aspect, but yeah, hopefully we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we? Okay. How many more noun forms do you think we're going to have inflection-wise?
None.
Like, is this it?
Yeah, none. I thought we were done.
Does this mean we can enter our 3 little nouns?
Yeah, and we can come up with more. We can also get rid of this. And everybody can help me remember what letters we are and are not using. Do we have a ch in this language?
I don't think so.
We don't have
just
that.
A second. Here's our sound changes, or our sounds.
Don't have that. We don't have anything palatal, do we?
Mm-mm.
Let's see. Z. We do have a.
Yeah, we have Z.
We don't have a Y, do we? Wait, or do we? Do we?
But it's palatal. It's not up here.
Yeah, we don't. We don't have a Y. That's funny.
We do have a W. I don't know if it's ever going to be an onset, but we have
no,
one.
it doesn't matter. Don't have a Q.
T, we've got, no Q.
We don't have an R. Don't have an R.
We do not have an R.
We don't have an R.
L, J. We don't have a J.
J.
G. D. B and A. Yeah, the rest should be good.
All right. Well, okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to get rid of. Dang. How are we going to manage that? Well, let's find out.
And we actually have more than 3 nouns because we've also got stick and bundle that we will be adding. And leaf. We have leaf.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here.
And I would love to get rid of some of these other notes just because they keep messing me up. I think I realize what's messing me up with the sound changes, their placement. I think we need to put the romanization above the sound changes so that way all of the IPA romanization stuff is here and then you get sound changes.
You're the boss. So we can definitely get rid of these rows.
Okay, now don't do anything for a second because I'm going to be moving something and I don't want you to freak out.
I know what I can do.
I'll wait until you're done doing it.
No, you go ahead.
Well, it's going to completely change the page for a minute and then it'll come back. So I don't want to do that while you're doing something.
Oh. Oh.
Ikerak. That's good for verbs to get knocked around every now and then.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then now, no, please go ahead. Just hit the button.
And then it's gonna come back up
goes there. And then actually have it go there. And then we'll delete that, and this will be the row that switches. Wait. Okay. UVWZ, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then UVW, yeah. So those get deleted. Did you go up to your room, Meridian? Did you see something new? Did you see two things that were new? I hope you liked them. Okay, now that goes there. That gets deleted.
I didn't remember what was new.
Ooh. Okay, then that goes up there. This is Meridian's new bird. Yeah, I see it, but I'm going to ignore that. It says it's a spam risk. Meridian, do you want to tell everybody what your new bird's name is?
Could I do?
Yes, go ahead. Oh, well, that didn't work.
And then I think you had already updated the romanization, right? Like I don't see any here, I don't think, that don't belong. So I think,
Heck. There we go. And line border, good. Let's see. Okay, and what is your bird's name, Meridian?
Stella.
It's a good name for a bird, I think.
oh, there's the one.
I didn't even ask it to repeat me. It just did.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
Oh,
Hold on a sec. There we go.
and now you just gotta tell it to make that row fit to size.
There we go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
If
And
she records an oh, like a high pitched sound like that, she'll scream. So funny. She's like oh, and she's like.
paste style. We're getting there.
There's 20 different bird sounds.
Really?
Yeah.
Like 20 different birds?
Sounds. Yeah. There's 20 different bird sounds. That's what it said.
So cool.
It's from Little Live Pet. That's the company.
Okay.
And Magpie says, sounds like an excellent bird. I would know. All right.
Bird
Well,
noises.
Well, it's 4 o'clock, so we got that done.
Yeah.
We'll get more done later, but
Oh, here. But
I,
it actually here we can end this way because this will be really easy. Thus and we just need the proto form for this because I don't know what it is.
AUSAS.
Oh, and there we go. We have our first word entered. Odas, grass, and this is the regular form. That's the partitive. Very simple. That was an easy one, and we'll also correct these. Ta-da!
And now you're putting there you go.
Oh my gosh.
Make it just repeat it to you.
It did. It did just repeat you.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. No idea what types of
Word
birds
noises.
Bibluridian. It's a good question. But yeah, so back to another stretch of some LangTime Studio.
That's David saying ta-da. All right, so yeah, see you all next week. Stay grammar.
And yeah, bye.
Bye. Okay.
All right.